Hello everyone, my name is Tom and here I am presenting to you a Warno video. So I've been recommended by some friends to kind of start putting out some content, especially on the ranked games that I've been playing. So I've been playing this game on and off for a couple of years now, and every so often I'll teach some of my friends what to do and what not to do in Warno. So here's kind of an ideal match where I can give some tips and tricks, especially coming from someone who may not be the best currently, um, but well, slowly working my way back up the ranks. So today we are playing Metroonly, 39th Motorshoki division, so a division that's got very nice fire support. And I am currently playing the multinational airborne division, effectively known by the Warno community as MBAD. So recently, with the recent patch notes and the release of the reinforcement pack, MBAD, they got quite a significant buff. So Gurkha rifles, their prices decreased from 100 to 85 points. Arrows also went down from 70 to 65, and there was also buffs to the British tows. So the ATMP, no, not the tows, sorry, the anti-air vehicle, the ATMP LML, also got an availability increase, as well as I think the Buccaneer Seeds also got a buff as well, an increase of 10% to 40% on the ECM, as well as the Parascorpion and Scimitar's availability increase, which means you can really nicely kind of spam them out for cheap. I think they're respectively 45 and 40 points. Other than that, I am quite unwell right now, so unfortunately, it may sound like I'm a bit bunged up. But also, the Weasels got changed, so they got a health decrease from 10 points down to 6. But they also got a very nice points decrease from 85 down to 75, where they have very nice stealth, and so you can actually get away with some nice sneaky positions, which you'll probably see in this video. As well as kind of the mainstay of the division's artillery, the L118 105mm also got an accuracy buff, which is nice, but that's more across the entire board. So yeah, today we're playing Urban Frontlines, so here we go. This is my kind of deployment, and I'll just take you guys through what I'm kind of thinking. Like I said, I'm not the best player in this game, but I like to think I've got a pretty good grasp of most of the basics. And I was recommended by some friends to kind of great video. It's just to take people through on how I kind of play the games and what I try and do to win. My number one philosophy is no recon is absolutely horrible for your games. So no recon is is terrible. So you always want to make sure you've at least got your flanks covered. So well, I'll go into a little bit more detail now. So to start off with, talking about the flanks, I really like these kind of little recon like M2 HBs, the 50 cal kind of recon jeeps. They are very low in HP, but as you will see later on, they have some insanely good vision as well as some really good firepower for dealing with lightly armored recon units. So these two on the right, they are coming over here. So this guy here, because I playing this map quite a few times now, people like to rush their recon kind of straight down this road, straight kind of like into these buildings here, or even try and be cheeky and get them into these buildings here, which can be a pain because they'll bring ATGMs and start kind of like pressuring this tide. And I find if you kind of want to win the town, you really do need to just take this kind of block of urban area here, as well as then you can start pressuring this point, as you'll see in this video. So I bring my two recon scout vehicles over to this side. So one covering kind of the open ground here to make sure I'm not getting flanked, you know, any sneaky helicopters or anything like that trying to get around to my rear. And then on the left side, I've also just got this LSV as well. Once again, covering the flanks, covering potential access points at any sneaky units that come around. And then I actually opted up to go with Leclerc's Paracommando. So these guys, they're really nice. They get the Blinder side RL83, 50% accuracy, so a bit of a coin flip. However, the kind of the penetration 14 is enough to deal with most light-skinned vehicles. What I'm really interested in, though, is the mini paras. Not really any, well, FNCs are alright, not really got the best damage output, only being 3 of them. However, they get access to the shock ability, which is fantastic. You see here, this does more damage than fighting in close range. So I've sent them all the way over to this building. Once again, covering a kind of sneaky route that enemies may try and push down, as well as kind of just getting some vision. It's not a bad spot, but you can see kind of any potential pushes along here as well. Now moving on to the main force, obviously best command vehicle for this division is the Burung's Iltis. And I've currently just got that coming towards Echo, and then it will move across from Echo to Delta to Bravo to Alpha, and I've capturing these 4 points all at once, giving me a points advantage due to the forward deploy ability this thing has. Moving on. So in the main deployment, well, it being an airborne unit, is most of your units will have forward deployer, which means you can deploy them ridiculously far ahead. Kind of like a worse 82nd Airborne Division. But we do get a nice mix of vehicles and units. So to start off with Paracommandos. These guys are absolute tanks. 8 strength units, and once again 7 assault rifles, 1 minimum para, and a law. Perfect for kind of like an opening cheap chaff unit just to go in and kill any weaker enemy infantry. Once again, shock. They're doing extra damage in close quarters. Perfect for this map. I mean, look at it. Close quarters urban combat, followed by some anti-air, so Mistrals to deal with any forward deploy helicopters or recon. 65% accuracy, but they do have a really long reload time, so you've got to really count on them to hit. So I brought 3. So select here now, and I usually kind of try and deploy them quite close behind my infantry, just so no one is caught out. So here, so deploy in these buildings, nice vision. And then we also have some Milan units, so 2 Milan units. There's the other one. We can see they are currently coming to some key points now. So I like to usually, on this map, chuck a sniper and a Milan unit in this building right here, because I mean, look at the coverage it's got. It's a high rise, so it can see mostly everything here. And then the other one, because I'm bringing a recon unit over to this side, I also like to make sure that any pushes that can kind of come along this way can easily be crushed. As I've found time and time again, a lot of armored pushes favor the open ground on this side, which you'll see later in the video does not go very well. Otherwise, I think on this side, all I've got is, yeah, the sniper team, once again, coming into this tower, very valuable, can't go wrong, and I usually don't even turn on return fire for this unit, because it will just slowly chip away at anything here or here, like anything that pushes any enemy units usually get chipped away and not spotted. And then an unpopular opinion, I think, but the Paracommando RL, I mean, this is a fantastic unit. It's not as cheap as the normal Paracommandos that the Belgians get, being 10 points more expensive, but you get access to an 18-pen Blinderside RL100, 6 rounds. Fantastic anti-tank rocket launcher, 6% accuracy. You couldn't ask for more. And then I like to back up my initial push if I kind of feeling weak in the infantry, which I am. There's not a lot of units here. They're quite expensive. I like to back it up with some Marinas. So Marinas are Dutch, and they are kind of like your close quarters. What you see here, submachine gun, battle rifle, light assault weapon, a medium machine gun. So they are kind of your infantry killers. They'll absolutely chew through enemy infantry at closer ranges. So you see here 850 meters. That's kind of your standard fighting range, and then if you get any closer, you've got 500-meter range Uzi as well, which does some very nice damage. And these will kind of just, well, initially I put them over here as a covering force, and they're also quite good for scouts, like kind of like point blank scouting, as you could say, because they're 10 strength, so they won't go down easily, and also 45 points once again. So in total, 65-point unit for some quite lethal anti-infantry work. And they will just chew through anything, especially the good stealth that they get. I think that is it for now. Let's see if I've deployed anything else. I don't think I do. Oh, no, never mind. There we go. So I have some points left over. I ended up moving all of the units out, actually, so... okay. Oh, yeah, the RL comes over on the left side as well, just to cover any potential pushes across, and also to make sure there's no rushes on my man vehicle, as sometimes you get, especially with the faster airborne divisions, such as 56Y, you get a lot of vehicles coming straight down this main road trying to get kind of secure ground. Well, basically my rear, I guess you could say. Finally, I have some leftover points, so my favorite thing to do is just spam scimitars. These guys have absolutely beastly auto cannons with some very, very nice burst. So 1,750 meters away, 71% accuracy, and a nice rate of fire. They are very good for fire support, which is very crucial to support these infantry units. As unfortunately, MBADs do not have any actual armor, so their heaviest unit is the Scorpion and the Scimitars. So yeah, we'll slow this down now, and we will get right into it. So, during my deployment phase, I'm always kind of looking to see what division I'm playing against and whether I can expect any strong forward deploy, any potential helicopter rushes, or whether or not I can kind of take some aggressive grounds really quickly and then bolster my forces. The way I like to play this game, I like to kind of sit in a not so aggressive position most of the time, so kind of like along this area is fine because you've got a foothold into this point. And you're not giving up much ground. And I just like to build up my forces, which is, I think, the way is the game should really be played. You want to be trading up, so you want to be making sure the units you're killing are higher point values than the units you're losing. So, I mean, for me, it's kind of bad because most of these units are quite expensive. So here we go. First point of contact, right away. This LSV is going to absolutely chow down on this UAZ. Very nice 50 cal once again, and with 36% accuracy, that's pretty good. So now I see this recon heli, so not really seeing much here, especially because he's quite low. I don't know really what he's trying here, maybe just avoid any mistrals. And I have a second sniper set up here just because they've got very good optics and they can dig out, kind of, they can see all the way down this road. In hindsight, maybe a Milan here would have been perfect as well, but this mistral moves up because I wanted to kill this heli, trying to get eyes on him, but it doesn't really work out. And this Milan here starts firing. Unfortunately, he misses. So, starting to get into combat here. I kill the fire support. Once again, kind of playing these divisions, they really rely on their fire support. The BTR, heavy machine gun, it does a lot of damage. And I'm not a fan of fire support per se. It's, you know, playing this division, it will just, they absolutely annihilate my infantry units. I mean, it's rock, paper, scissors. Tanks beat fire support beats infantry, infantry beats other infantry and tanks. But as I can see, this is what I can see right now. So I'm thinking maybe an investment in some artillery would be nice just to kind of eliminate these buildings and kill these 7.62, as these are going to be a pain in the ass to deal with. Also, notice he's open up with Samurai. There are some really cheap chaff units that you kind of throw out. I mean, 40 points as well, so it's 16 total. But you got to be careful because they also have shock. So at this point, my first tick happening in a moment. I bring in... Oh yeah, bring the Scimitars over to the left as well. Kind of a ballsy move. To see if I can fire spot anything down. But I then spot this ATGM. And I start losing vehicles. So I start pulling these guys back, realizing, okay, this is not sustainable. But this guy has been critically damaged. And I pull back the Parrots as well, because I've kind of done my aggressive scouting. And I know kind of where his main battle line is and what I can start focusing on. So, all like these lovely vehicles about to be sold to bring me some extra points. My marina set up on the right. And this sniper starts going to town on these 7.62 guns. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he's not in mode. I know he is. And so basically I'm delay. Move up the marinas, do some more scouting, and support the Milan in case it gets pushed. Scimitars, well, I bring them all the way around because this is a kind of prime fighting environment for them, the autocannons. And so, for my first tick, I am bringing in some Gurkha rifles. A contentious first buy, but they're just such good infantry. 12 strength. I mean, 12 strength. They get 3 LSWs, 9 L8, 5 A1, and they also get the Law 80, which is perfect for dealing with most fire support vehicles. And then once again, Resolute and Shock. And I bring them over here to start reinforcing the right side because I want to be playing through this. This is just perfect close quarters environment, which completely negates kind of these BMP2s over here. And I kind of play to my advantage where I just have the better close quarters infantry. I also bring up, I know a lot of people will disagree, but early artillery picks I think are extremely important because you can just start fire supporting down all these kind of valuable targets here and weaken the center. And then, all of a sudden, he pushes on the right side, and I'm thinking, well, crap. I have literally 2 units of Marinas here. They're doing their jobs, though. Is it Marinas? Marineers? They're doing their jobs, though, and these Scimitars are moving up to now support. So fire supporting is very important, and what I mean by fire support is having your infantry pin another infantry unit into place and bringing up your own kind of armored vehicles to shoot down the enemy vehicles. So BTR destroyed. That's perfect. I don't know why he's YOLOing them. And oh, Mistrals take up the recon heli. That's also perfect. I don't see this ATGM here, so I think I lose a couple of vehicles down this road as well at some point. But as you can see, this is such a favorable trade for me. I'm absolutely, I mean, look at the kill list. Chowing down on this infantry. And the Gurkha rifle starts to get involved, and it's pretty much goodnight Vienna. His first push kind of fails. So, bringing up the RT, obviously don't auto-sell the trucks because this is tows, and it's very valuable to move them later, as I forget and find out later in this video. And I also bring up a supply vehicle, just to repair the commandos. One of my favorite things about this game is how easy it is to retain your infantry and retain your viable units. Being my MO always being to build a big ball of death and then just you move and try and bully out the opposition, making sure you're not using any enemy units, any friendly units very easily is such a valuable concept to understand in this game. Oh, there goes recon unit, and the ATGM dies, and the supply unit moves into resupply both these paracommandos. And I bring up some more paracommando RLs to support this area as well, because I mean I'm going to have to brute force this. But on the right side, TATB takes a absolute tank of a hit from the Milan 2. It's doing perfect work. And this M2HB engaged the Razvedka. My pronunciation is not all that. But once again, 36% accuracy absolutely just annihilates this recon unit. Nothing else is really happening on the left side, so I'm happy to just leave that and not reinforce it. I actually ended up switching this guy from, I think, from here to here because it watches the main road. And I kind of leave a gap here, which I don't really recommend doing, but at the end of the day, he didn't push me here, so it's fine. On the right side, I'm just bringing up more kind of units. So FS Jaeger as well, very nice unit, which I believe 2nd Panzer and is it 8th Panzer 5th Panzer get access to. I'll get my divisions mixed up from time to time. But once again, Panzerfaust 3, penetration 21, so this is like the perfect anti-tank weapon as well for infantry. 10% accuracy, 4 rounds, so this absolutely chows down on fire support vehicles. And they just get, I mean, they get shock again, so this is a perfect fighting environment for them. And they're quite tanky at strength 8. TATB, so this guy makes a mistake here, I think. He just brings his tanks into the city fight. He really needs to be playing them over here and trying to kill this Milan 2. Actually, which I end up moving, because I feel like he's going to get RC'd. Which moving him here was actually very clutch hindsight from hindsight. So I bring up some helicopters just to support this side. I have a feeling he's going to push. The TATBs here, BMP2s are starting to get spotted, and there's a lot of infantry on this side. I bring my Marineers up to scout again. Like I said, look how tanky they are, just aggressive scouts. And they're just not really taking any damage. RT opens fire again. I really want to kill this because they can shoot across into any infantry push here. And I'm just kind of feeling out the water, seeing what infantry defenses he has and where his armored vehicles are. And I start bringing up more infantry. I also bring up some Scorpions. These are 76mm kind of light armored vehicles like the Scimitar. There we go. And they have also some nice fire support capabilities. They don't really do much else besides fire support. And you really need to rely on your ATGMs and your infantry to kill any enemy heavily armored vehicles like the ATB. So, I don't know how this RT does not kill this, but you know what? It's whatever. I think buildings are really tanky now in the recent changes. But right now I'm bringing up more supply. Unfortunately, my supply vehicle here somehow dies. I think he dies in the TATB down the road. But I end up killing... Yeah, the heli's dead there. I end up killing a TATB over here as well at some point. But now he's starting to push, and I'm thinking, well, you know what? I think I'm in a pretty solid spot. All this infantry here. I don't think he can push me out without some serious, like, air power or infantry fighting vehicle support. So he brings up the TATB. That's fine. These guys are just sponges. In the meantime, I'm bringing up some very, very nice units. These cluster mortars are absolutely fantastic. Very heavily slept on, and in this video you'll see they end up doing a hell of a lot of damage. Scorpion dies over here as well. But I'm trying to just save my units. Like, I'm pulling these Marinas back every so often just so they don't sustain too much damage. And I'm basically kind of forming a line, and then every so often I'll fall back to the next line and make sure that I've got supply vehicles kind of repairing, because as you'll see in this video, he's just trading cheap infantry carelessly. And that's kind of what loses him the game. This guy does not save his units. I mean, that one fell back, but as you can see on the kill count on the side and at the end of the game, I just absolutely win the infantry fight. And then here comes this kind of big push. So this Milan 2 moves across, and I see the BMP2 conquers, and I'm thinking, okay, well, the helicopters are here, and I'm going to move them forward in a moment. But this Milan 2 honestly does so much work. If I kept him here, he'd be dead. But he suppresses his ATB, so he has to pull back. And I pull back the scimitars because the BP2s absolutely destroy them. But now this Milan 2 is just starting to destroy all the recon vehicles, and then he drives into my infantry, which they die. So I've also brought up another two party as well. There goes Sakurai. I mean, look at the kill feed. It's all packed units dying. And that's basically it. So his entire push along here, this side dies. And I'm kind of in a really good position. I really didn't lose anything at all. Maybe a couple units of cheap infantry. Actually, I don't think I lost any units at all. I mean, I lost some scimitars, but they're 45 points. It's a massive trade up for me. Kind of just trying to deal with any... I mean, I lose a helicopter here, but also, once again, they're so cheap. Oh, this is my favourite part. So these cluster mortars, I target his fire support. That's the biggest threat to me. I can kill his infantry easily, but the BMP2s and the tanks are the biggest issue. As you can see here, just doing so much damage to my infantry. But the cluster mortars, like to have a word about that. 2 salvos, and the BMP2's dead. So these units are just so valuable at picking away at expensive fire support options, BMP2, BMP3. I snipe his supply as well, once again, just to be a pain, and so he cannot repair these. And then I try and pick away again at his fire support weapons. On this side, I bring up some extra infantry just to shore this up, because I saw some pushing over here. But I don't think he does anything on this side. And then I get a supply vehicle up to rearm this Milan, who's an absolute bitch. On this side, I bring up some Weasel tows and a Cracker tow, just to kind of like shoot down these roads in case he pushes again. And also you can sneak the Weasel with its amazing stealth into this tank line, the bush line, just to get some cheeky little side shots on. In hindsight, I should probably move them over here just so they're further away, but I think this was about the time. Once again, this LSV doing absolute work. Fighting this Razvedka. There we go. I'll get there eventually. And now I know he's got recon here again. I deal with later on. On this side, still no pushes. Like, I'm doing pretty fine over here. He should really be pressuring me on this side, and at least doing some aggressive recon. But his attention's all over here. And I think there goes his fire support weapons. And then I make a mistake. I just don't move this arty, and I really should be loading it up. But I get greedy. I was like, he's not counter-battered me yet. So I just think if I leave them there, I'll be fine. But always move your arty, because as you'll see, I get punished for it. Also, in hindsight, I should probably bring up some more anti-air. Oh, I'm sniping another BMP2. This is always nice. I mean, it's 60 points. These mortars are 40 points. They're already punching up. Once again, you really shouldn't be selling your... Always be turning auto sell-off for your artillery, because, as you see here, I've turned it off, but I forgot to move them. Got cocky, and now I lose this RT. See, there we go. I put them in the trucks, but it's way too late, and they're done for. BMP2 dies over here, so again, I spot this one as well. I'm going to take him out next. I'll automatically do that, actually. And there goes the RT, which is a pain. I don't often try counter battery unless it's mortars, because there can be a bit of an issue with the smoke. Unless I have kind of like the overwhelming firepower of several guns to do so, or the range. I move these guys because I'm like, okay, well, they're going to get counter battery now. And then on the left, I kind of panic, because I see all these vehicles coming. I'm like, okay, well, here we go. He's going to try to push down here. But then they turn, and they come into here. And I think, well, they're in UAZs, so they're either Strelas or they are ATGMs. And this Milan is kind of chilling here the entire game. He's picking them off. But they are not. They're 30mm fire support weapons again. Over here, I buy more Scorpions. It's always good to have more fire support vehicles and more scimitars. So right now, if I select all of them, I have what? 11 fire support vehicles, which you'll see later on are absolutely amazing. And I'm just buying more infantry because I want to stack this. On me. In hindsight, having this much infantry all close here would be death by grad, but I'm lucky he hasn't spotted me. I know he's got no recon looking at me, or else he would have fired at me by now. And also, I'm quite far back. There's not really many lines of sight, maybe here. But my sniper here can see across. So I do some bit more aggressive scouting with the Maronniers. They're more likely to survive than my recon units. But they end up dying, I believe. Yeah, this one is just getting absolutely shredded because he's got these 5 support weapons now. And then the T-80 gets involved. And I pull him back. Oh, I kill another 30mm. Sniper gets this one over here. And I see kind of this side, so I'm thinking over here. Now I need to make my play. I've got enough biomass of cheap spammable units. I destroy another BMP2, and this kind of inspires me. At this point, I think I've killed 3 or 4 over here. And that's just so much like valuable fire support. These mortars have already made their money's worth, and I'm very happy with them, and always highly recommend them. I lose a supply vehicle here and a cheap Maronnier, but once again, I just know its disposition. Sakurai in front, tanks behind. I can easily kill that. So now I start to move up my toes. I bring a few up just in case he tries BMP2 rush, which he actually does over here, which is fair enough. I'm out of ammo. So I kind of just have to sit here and smile that these guys get wiped. I think I'll bring helicopters on the left just as a panic buy, but always try and not panic buy, just because that'll play into kind of your opponent's hands and they'll just counter you some air or such. But you see how quickly my sniper and Milan 2 die. Fire support is such a valuable commodity in this game. So Marty's firing at the Sakurai over here, try to recon up. It dies. I don't know this, I don't have recon on it, but I can presume he probably didn't move them, and they've pulled back, and I can kind of push it again. And then here comes the big push. So everything's kind of just Q moving forwards with the big group vehicles here. It's one of my favourite things in the game. As an avid 7th Panzer Division enjoyer, having the T-72 spam is always nice. And then I just bring up some extra ATGMs to support the push. Unfortunately, the Weasel here dies, like I said. Moving them over here is probably the best option. But this guy also pops smoke, so I'm just more than, like, I'm happy to move forward. The smoke's popped. I've got ATGMs to cover. Recon pushing from the right, and then all my infantry is kind of tanking forwards. And this is the kind of big push, like all this fire support is just disgusting. And there's so much chaff here that these BMP2s are struggling to kill it all quick enough. And that means my infantry can just push forward. I mean, the Gurkhas, just loads of Gurkhas, FS Jaeger, even the ATGMs are all coming forward just to get into right positions to shoot back. I'd bring a seed in, I can't remember why. I think I wanted to do, LGB run, but I kind of forget to activate him, which is annoying because I think he dies here. Oh, there we go. He uses it on this guy. I don't know why I clicked that, but anyways. And then I buy an AT plane, which is also, I'm just buying planes, quite a lot of planes at this point. And I'm also panicking to this HE plane, so I dive with the F-16s. The AT comes in because I want to snipe this T-80BK. He's giving some insane buffs to all his friendly units. But this front line is kind of just, this front line is just developed into kind of close quarters fighting. So now all his infantry here is dead. All he's got left is a T-80, a BMP2, and a T-80B, and an ATGM and a 30mm fire support weapon, and a motor Strelky. I have completely traded up. I've wiped out his front line, and to be honest, the biggest losses I took were in this push. But I mean, look at the amount of infantry I have here. Besides kind of low health units, everyone else is quite healthy, and I've got supply to heal anything in the back, and I've got these infantry. To be fair, I think he pulls back in the end because he needs to heal, but these Gurkhas come forward as well, and I pull back with these vehicles just to save a few of them in case he counter pushes. But these Scorpions push forward in 2 bits. But as you can see, he's actually in the points lead as well, which is crazy because I mean, I thought this was going to be quite a slog, so I was kind of preparing for the worst. But he forced my hand on this side, but I mean, this anti-tank rocket launcher pops him up, and he just surrenders. So, let's see this play out. AT plane coming in, the Buccaneer. It's very nice. 30 pen, so it's guaranteed to one shot as long as it hits. It hits, and I think that is it. Push forward, and this front line's broken. So to take away from that, MBAD is now MGOOD. I'm enjoying it. I've played a few games with them so far. Mostly on city maps, so maybe I'm a bit biased, but I feel like the ATGM vehicles are going to be a pain to deal with on your more open maps. And it's just about the cheap trade-ups. A lot of your infantry is quite expensive, but the starting infantry is relatively cheap for what you get. So let's see. Yeah, so like for every unit I'm killing 3 more at least. And these cluster units as well are just doing bits. 3 BMP2s. I mean, it's just mopping up the fire support. And from my perspective, very cheap losses like Mariners. I mean, I lose 1 plane, but I trade up as well and kill a MiG. But on my hand, it's mostly cheap vehicles, so he hasn't really done any dent. The biggest kill was the grads on the RT, which was a pain, but I brought extra RT, so we can deal with that. But that is it. That's my first time casting kind of my own video, and I'm hoping to do a few more of these in the future. It's fun. I really enjoy this game. It scratches a kind of like a strategy game itch that Wargame Red Dragon used to scratch, but this has just got a much nicer quality of life. But I know there's a whole debate on which game is better, Warno or Wargame Red Dragon. But hopefully I will catch you all in the next video. Thank you. Cheers.